Okay, so I have this crazy history of really horrible roommates. In college I had a great roommate. Well, my first roommate was like probably clinically depressed, and I only know this in retrospect because she used to lay on the couch all day and fall asleep, but she would tape, because this was back in the VHS days, all of the soap operas so she could watch them later, and then she would fall asleep again while she was watching them again. She really slept for, I think, about 20 hours a day. She never went to class. But other than that, she was fine. And then when I left college, I did not have a roommate for a while, which I thought was going to be horrible because I'm afraid of ghosts and I'm afraid of the dark. And, but I got used to it, and I stopped being afraid of ghosts. Like, I pretty much assumed it was my abusive next-door neighbor when I heard things clank in the dark. And then, when I moved again, I moved in with a roommate who became what some might call a single white female. And although she was 4'11" and I am 5'11", everything else about her soon became like me. Like, she bought my exact favorite outfit, except I had it in red and black, and she got it in white and black, but the same exact outfit. She bought my perfume, which wouldn't be that weird maybe, except for that you could only buy it in Europe. I'm not joking. And she was like, we're both night owls, but like back in the day, like say, I don't know, 60, 75 pounds ago, I used to go to the gym at 5 in the morning. And she was not into that, but then she started coming to the gym at 5 in the morning, and she'd like get on the machine next to me, and I'm like, listen bitch, it's 5 a.m. I do not want to see anybody's face, let alone my stalker. So I kind of withdrew from her, but she's not even the story, because she was not the worst roommate. The worst roommate was the one that I like to call Dolphin Girl. Now, Dolphin Girl, this is when I was in grad school. I was in like a really competitive, difficult, like study 20 hours a day kind of grad school program. It was hardcore. And I was working my ass off. It was like my dream. I was following my dream. I wanted to have this job really fucking bad. And this girl was in a different program, so hers wasn't quite as difficult as mine, at least the first semester. And she moved in, she seemed really nice, and I met her family, and she made yogurt, and I was like, I love homemade yogurt, and it just seemed very symbiotic. Then, however, I found out that, no offense, she was an alcoholic. And again, I don't mean any offense to any alcoholics in the room, certainly not since we're in a bar, and any judges who might be alcoholics really know. But this was a problem for me because I was studying like 20 hours a day, and she was getting wasted like 20 hours a day in my apartment, and she was having people over all the time, and I was like, I need to sleep because I have to study in the morning, and I have to study right now. And it was really, really, really annoying, especially when she took like 3 bottles of wine that I bought on a wine tasting trip to Lyon, and drank them, and they were like $100 bottles, and I was laying them down for like 10 years. I was just really, and I was in grad school, I was super poor, I couldn't afford to replace them if I wanted to. And anyway, so the reason that she's called Dolphin Girl is because in addition to being an alcoholic, she was also a slut. And I have no problem with sluts. I am not judging sluts. I am sluttery good. You're good with it. You go with it. That's your thing. But what pissed me off was that she faked her orgasms. And she really fucking faked them. And I'm like, you are doing ill to womankind here, okay? So when she would come home with whatever guy it was, and I'm not kidding when I say she literally brought homeless guys home sometimes, I'm not kidding, sadly, she would do this. I'm sorry for your ears, but that is the literal noise that I would hear through my walls, and it would go on for like 5 to 6 minutes at a time. So yes, so she became Dolphin Girl. She, shortly after that, left my apartment. I had rented the apartment, I was subletting to her happily. And so she left, and that was the end of Dolphin Girl and my after-hours nightmares. Just as a little addendum, my 2 subsequent roommates were, one, a guy that thought I was into him and I wasn't, and so he like started avoiding me hardcore afterwards, and I had to keep telling him how in love I was with this other guy, and it didn't work. And then the next guy, who I thought was totally cool and normal, I came home one day early in the morning, and he was fucking his ex-girlfriend in my bed, even though his bed was 2 doors down. So at that point, I decided that I was going to move in with my boyfriend, and now I'm married and in order to deal with this shit again.